skirt, all niggas. Skirt up, all niggas. Skirt down, you acting like me. Acting like we wasn't more than a summer fling. I said farewell, you took it well. Promise I won't cry. So what's good, my wonderful people? Gotta stay hydrated, but we'll talk about that later. So we are here today to discuss bariatric surgery. What bariatric surgery, for those that aren't familiar with that term, it is the gastric sleeve, gastric bypass. But I won't be discussing the gastric bypass because I don't have much information to give you on that one. But we will be discussing the gastric sleeve and the VSG. Some call it VSG is vertical sleeve gastronomy. Some call it the LSG. I believe that's like I can't pronounce that. Laparoscopic sleeve gastronomy. I'm not necessarily familiar with that term, but all of them are the same thing. It's the same. It's literally the same. They just have different various names for it. Don't ask me why. I ain't come up with it. I'm just a messenger. But like I said, we will be discussing, the weight loss surgery and why I decided to proceed in getting it. So before we start, I do want to let you know that I am today 2 weeks post-op exactly. I had recorded some footage beforehand. It did not, I don't know what I was doing, but the audio did not capture. So I have to go back and re-record all of the footage in this day and age. I would have loved to give you guys the footage as I progressed it, like I planned. But unfortunately, like I said, it did not come out as planned. So, hold on, I feel like the mic too far away. So, VSG, that's like the popular name on YouTube, so we're gonna go with that. But VSG, aka the sleeve, it was brought to my attention by my mom, like a year or two ago, and I'm not gonna lie, I was really skeptical, and I'm not gonna lie, I was like on some type of time, like, get out my face, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, come on, I ain't that big. Like, I know I done packed on a few, but come on now, you think I need that? Like, come on, like, damn, like, what I'm saying? Excuse my language. I'm trying to keep this a clean channel. So yeah, I was really, 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 really against it. And I really wasn't even hearing her. I believe she brought this to my attention like 2 years ago, 2020. And I wasn't really hearing her. It wasn't really, I'm like, come on, man. I wasn't trying to go through all that. And then the process. And I'm just like, I just didn't have the time. So, um, you know, further down the line, I'm going to be honest. So, in 2020, I did get liposuction. I did have that I did have cosmetic surgery on my abdomen area. And I'm not gonna lie, I expected that to be like a substitute for weight loss for me, and it wasn't. It helped. Don't get me wrong, but I personally felt like it did not help in the way that I assumed it would. But we'll get to that later because after going through it, I really feel like cosmetic surgery is for a particular scale of people, and not everybody should waste their money. I'm not gonna lie. I personally feel like I wasted my money. I don't feel like it was beneficial to me. I will say I did not I did not do right. So guilty there. But outside of not doing right, um, it's just not it's not going to be a permanent solution. And I personally feel no matter what, for some people, that weight is going to come back. And I feel that is the gimmick with that. But we'll get into all that later. We'll get into all, because I don't even supposed to be talking about all that. Like I said, I got lipo in 2020. I had to get it twice. That was part of the procedure that I signed up for. And then I had to turn around and get it again in 2021. But because I got lipo, that is kind of what started to basically get me into the mindset of, okay, you got some health issues you need to check into. We'll just start with my reasons for deciding to get the VSG surgery. So my reasons were based upon a lot of health issues that I deal with. Well, I'm going to say that I deal with, because I have not been tested to see if I no longer deal with certain things. I feel like I don't after being post-op, but that has not been confirmed. So I will not put that out like, oh my God, it instantly cured me. No, I won't say that. So until I go get it confirmed, yes, it was, these are the health reasons that prompted me to basically, go forth with the surgery. One of the main reasons was high blood pressure. Blood pressure thing just didn't cross my mind because it wasn't something that I thought was permanent. I never knew I had it, never really thought the signs of having it was something that I needed to worry about. I'm thinking maybe I'm just tired all the time, or I really don't know what I thought, to be honest with you. But after learning that I do have it, and taking medication for it, I realized I've been dealing with this for a long time and not even known. So when I did go get lipo, it was one of those situations where the first time they told me, hey, your blood pressure is kind of high. You know what I'm saying? We monitor it closely though, but nothing to worry about. Came down regularly. It's expected. And they were, they sent me home. No major issues there. Now, the second time when I went to get it, it was a little bit of an issue because it was more so, it was higher now. Now, this time around, it was a little higher, and it was pretty much, it came down, but this time around, they told me it was something that I might want to go see if that's an issue that I actually have, because sometimes it could be like, at the moment you're nervous, for whatever reason, your body is, it can be one of those situations. But they said because it was like at a certain level, I don't remember the exact numbers it was, he suggested that I go get it checked out. Now, I did not go get it checked out. I won't lie. I did not look further into it. I just did not follow up. I did not do anything about it. Now, the third time, which was in 2021, this is like 6 months after the first time. It was one of those situations where they actually were like contemplating on having to keep me, because at this point I was at stroke or heart attack level, and it was staying there. It wasn't like coming down. So I had to stay in the recovery area for a little longer than usual until they can get me to come down, get the levels to come down. And eventually they did get it to come down after a few, I don't remember exactly because I was in and out, but they did get it to come down and I was able to go home the same day. But at that point, he prescribed me blood pressure medication and told me it's like important, like this time around, definitely go get it checked. So I'm not gonna lie, that kind of concerned me, and then I was talking to my mom, and then my mom was like, I told you before, you know, basically that you need to go get this checked out. This is something that you probably deal with on a regular and you don't know, and you need to be getting medication for it because that's serious. One second, because I just got a missed call and I don't know who that was. So yeah, so I did have to go see about getting that, taken care of. So I brought it up to my doctor, and I was diagnosed with, high blood pressure at that point. And he pretty much he prescribed me lisinopril 10 milligrams. I have to continue taking that for daily. That is the same thing that the cosmetic surgeon prescribed me as well. So basically, it was one of those situations where this would be like something that affected me on a daily basis. So now I'm diagnosed with high blood pressure. And from my knowledge, I've had it for a while. But because, I'm pretty much being ignorant to my health, it's not something that I thought I would be dealing with at this age. Um, you know, I don't know. I hear high blood pressure, I got to take my blood pressure medication. That's more so your grandma, stuff like that. Like, it's not something that I felt, that I thought, not felt, that I thought I would be dealing with so young, early on in my life. But based on, knowing how serious this condition can be, this is a condition that, I don't want to have for the rest of my life. This is something, if I can overcome this is definitely one of those ones that I want to overcome, because I don't want to have to be living with this. And I especially don't want to have to live with taking medication every day. So that was one of the main factors, or one of the main health reasons. The next one was pre-diabetes. So I was diagnosed with pre-diabetes when I went to the pulmonologist. Basically, what that is basically my blood sugar levels are at a high. They're at a high, number, but they're not at that number where it's full blown like type 2 diabetes type thing. It's just something that basically I would need to monitor and basically, change my diet, and basically, monitor that and make sure I keep doing things that bring my levels down to a normal level. It's something you can overcome, from my understanding, but it wasn't something that I think I see myself overcoming, and for various reasons. Partly I wasn't serious about a diet. But we'll get to that part. Basically, I have all the symptoms of what you would have. I wouldn't say all, but I have a few symptoms of what you would feel if you had diabetes. Like, for instance, the frequent urination. I was peeing at least 3 to 4 times an hour. Like, that's obsessive. You know what I'm saying? It got to the point where, like, it was pretty much affecting my sleep, because in the middle of the night, I'm waking up at least 3, 4 times in the middle of the night to go use the bathroom. If like me, waking up in the middle of the night even once can like really throw you off your pivot. Like, it really could throw your sleep off, because me, once I'm up, I'm up. And it was becoming one of those things, like by the third or fourth time, now I'm just up in the middle of the night, not able to go back to sleep, because I done had to get up and use the bathroom. And, now it just, no. So that was one of the things, not to mention when I'm up, every time I turn around, I got to get up and I got to go to the bathroom. I only drink water at this point in my life, and my urine was like a bright yellow, and it had like a smell to it. It wasn't like a stink smell, but it just had a smell of, it was just a strong smell. Like, I can't really describe it. It wasn't like it just was strong. It was something strong. And then I looked up, and that was one of the symptoms, of the pre-diabetes. Plus, it was like always bright yellow. No matter how much water I drank, it was just bright yellow. That concerned me, because it's like I drink way too much water because I'm thirsty. Not to mention, it definitely gave me like more of a thirst. That was another symptom. Like, I was always thirsty. Every time I turned around, I was at the doctor's office setting appointments. Oh, you need to do a urine culture. Oh, I think I got a UTI. I don't know. Is it an STD? I don't know. I don't think, it would be, but I just don't know at this point, because you guys keep telling me that, I don't have a UTI. They're not finding any bacteria in my urine, but I keep having this feeling. I'm like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I know it's not an STD, but hey, at this point, anything is possible, because why do I keep feeling like this? And nothing, every time it came back, nothing was wrong with my urine. It came back every single time. Another thing that concerned me was that even when I'm peeing, it hurts. So it's like I'm peeing, and but it's like a constipated piss, like, excuse me. It's like a constipated, like, movement. I'm trying to get the pee out. I feel like I gotta go, but it won't come out. And I'm sitting on the toilet 10, 15 minutes before like just a drop comes out. And then it's like I still got that sensation of having to go to the bathroom. But again, I can't go because I got to sit and wait. But it wouldn't come out. The pee would come out. It would take me like 30 to 45 minutes just to get like a full blown urine out. And then next thing you know, about 30 minutes later, I'm right back on the toilet. Now, I will say that part wasn't like as frequent, like whereas I felt like the constipation of the pee, and it's hurting to come out. It wasn't a burn sensation, but it was like more my abdomen was like, it was weird. But that wasn't every time. I think when that happened, I had too much sugar. Like one time I drank some Kool-Aid and I felt that, that feeling. Another time I would notice it is like if I drank alcohol, I would notice it then. It got to the point where I had to pretty much kind of do away with my alcohol consumption. Or I would have to kind of like prepare. I pretty much had to plan when I could have drinks because I needed to make sure I had enough water fluids in me so that after I had a drink, I wouldn't feel that way. I also couldn't mix my drinks. I had to literally drink straight liquor. If I added juice or anything, that sensation was coming back. And that just became a nuisance to me because I like to have fun. I'm not going to lie. I like to party. I like to turn up. So yeah, so like those are like pretty much some of the symptoms that I was noticing early on. And I pretty much was ignoring it because, like I said, they kept telling me nothing was wrong. So to me, I'm just like, I don't know what this is or where, I don't know. Because this was before I had the diagnosis of prediabetes. I pretty much just didn't know what was going on with me. My primary did not do any tests. My primary didn't even bring up that thought of prediabetes. They actually didn't say anything in regards to it. And now that I think about it, that's kind of concerning. Yeah, that's definitely concerning because this was something that I dealt with for. Hold on. Like I said, this was something that I dealt with for a long time. So that's pretty alarming to me. Now that I think on it, never thought about it, but that's definitely pretty alarming to me. But another symptom that came with the prediabetes was this constant hunger pain. Oh my God. The hunger pains that came behind that alone right there, like, okay, don't get me wrong, the urinating was horrendous, but the hunger pains with it, wow. Now I wouldn't get the hunger pains like every day. The hunger pains pretty much came along like when I noticed I had too much sugar. But right before surgery, I won't kid you not, it got to a point where the hunger pains were like consistent. But I wasn't doing more than I would normally do with my sugar levels. But that is one of the reasons that really gave me that. Because I'm not going to lie, right before surgery, I had chickened out, canceled, and one second. Right before surgery, I did cancel. In my mind, I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna go through with it, because I was back and forth for a long time. But we'll get to all of that part. But yes, the hunger pains definitely kicked in, and that right there was just crazy because it was one of those things where no matter how much I ate, I still felt hungry, and it wasn't just like a hungry. It was like a starvation hungry, where it's like sharp pains are in your like just stabbing you and it just was weird. And I'm not gonna lie, the hunger pains is pretty much what sealed the hunger pains is pretty much what sealed the deal for me. Like I was miserable. It's like, one of those things like where misery loves company, and my urinary tract wanted company from my stomach. It wanted that to connect or something like that. I don't know, because it was like I'm already miserable here, and then you're gonna add this. No, you just want a friend or something. I don't know. But yeah, so that was pretty much like kind of what sealed the deal too for me. Another one of the symptoms of Mind you, these are all symptoms of just one condition that I'm feeling. You get what I'm saying? So it's like the hunger pains, the frequent urinating, the urine pains, the dry mouth, like all of that is just symptoms of just one condition that I'm experiencing, not to mention the high blood pressure that we already mentioned and a host of others that we're about to get to. So yeah. So the next condition that we're going to discuss is sleep apnea. Now I'm not gonna lie, this situation did not come with any symptoms. It was one of these situations where I went to the doctor, and then they basically ran tests, and basically it came back that I did have this one. Now this situation here, not situation, this condition here, it does have to do with you not breathing in your sleep. So it is a serious situation. Like I said, it did not come with any symptoms, but being diagnosed with it is definitely alarming. Because, like I said, you're not breathing when you're asleep, and that's something that you cannot control, pretty much, because you're asleep. You don't even know that it's happening, but it's serious because at any given point you can stop breathing in your sleep. So once I was diagnosed with this one, they did do tests. They run labs and stuff to see, how deep it is for you or what level you are at. Mine was I stopped breathing at least 11 times an hour when I'm asleep. And then that's just scary to think about. It's like, dang, 11 times in an hour, like, you know but being diagnosed with that, it did come with me having to get a CPAP machine. So basically a CPAP machine, you have to sleep with a mask on, and pretty much it makes up for when you stop breathing. So when I stop breathing, the machine is still going, so that way my body is still getting the oxygen it needs and my heart isn't overworking itself. You know I will say that machine, having to have that, definitely annoying. You're gonna do what you gotta do, but if I could go without, I'm definitely gonna try to go without having to do this. So that was definitely one of the reasons. The mask itself is just like a nuisance, especially for me because like I sleep on my side. So by me sleeping on the side and the way the mask is, I'll show you guys. But the way the mask is, my mask comes here for the breathing thing, and then it comes all the way up, and then there's like a tube right here that sticks out, and that's where the air is circulating in at, and then it projects here for me. Because it comes like this, and me sleeping on my side, I would be blocking one of the airways for it to get into, and I wouldn't be able to do that. The lady told me when I got that mask that wouldn't interfere, but it definitely interfered. And when I tried to get a replacement, they told me I couldn't get a replacement because of all this stuff. I had to call the pulmonologist and get it prescribed, and they would come back out and all this stuff. But I did not follow up with that. Pretty much I just kind of kept going on with my life. So now I sleep on my back, and I don't like sleeping on my back. So as you know, that's something that I definitely want to do away with. Like, that's not, I don't want to have to go to sleep with a breathing machine every night. I do a lot of traveling. Every time I travel, I got to make sure I got my breathing machine and all this and all that. So, yeah, that's something that I definitely don't want to live with for the rest of my life. So that was another factor. The next one is the acid reflux. Now, this condition is like, it was one that I noticed like when I would bend over in the studio. Like it would be hard. Like I felt like I don't know, I felt like I was about to pass out. Maybe I was, I don't know. I'm like, damn, am I having a heart attack? It's like, is my blood pressure up? Because I'm ignorant to a lot of what was going on with my body. Not gonna lie, I wasn't one of those super healthy type of individuals that just stayed up to date and knew everything. No, I wasn't one of those. But yeah, I'm just like bending over in the studio, fixing backdrops and props and stuff that's on the ground. And it was just like, well, I got to get up. Like, I can't really breathe. I don't know what's going on. So that was something that was, a problem for me, not to mention certain foods or drinks that I would drink. It would feel like I almost was about to like, throw up in my mouth or something. Like, I don't know. It was just like, it was weird, It was, I don't know. It was weird. But yeah, like my chest would just get really, really tight, and I would be like grasping for air. It really couldn't catch my breath until like I actually stood like straight up. And that started to affect me primarily at work. Because like I said, I'm doing shoots and I'm fixing backdrops. I do a lot of bending. I gotta help. Especially with the infants, stuff of that nature. And I can't bend down, or it feels like I'm about to cloak over. And based on like certain things that I would eat or drink, I would notice like, you know, heartburn. It came with a lot. It'd be heartburn, feeling like something is up here, and then I would have to try to basically the swallow to throw up sometimes, because it's like if I'm somewhere I don't want to be, it just was, that was a nuisance. I'm not gonna lie. That just became crazy. And then high cholesterol. I discovered the high cholesterol. Pretty much around the same time that I got the blood pressure diagnosis. I think that was around the same time that I got the high cholesterol diagnosis as well. But this condition, again, like with the sleep apnea, it did not come with any side effects. It was just one of those things where pretty much basically it's something that I needed to manage, because if not, I basically would be at the same risk with high blood pressure, like heart attack or stroke. So yeah, so pretty much it's like the high blood pressure, I'm at a risk of heart attack and stroke. Now I got high cholesterol and I'm at a risk of heart attack or stroke. Too much, and I'm still in my 30s, early 30s, like haven't even hit 35. Okay, I'm 32. 32, I'll be 33 this year, I think. I'm born in 89, so I don't know. Y'all do the math. I don't really speak much about my age, so no, I'm not familiar with it. But yeah, you do the math. I'm 32 years old, and I got all of this going on. You know what I'm saying? Um, that's a lot. That's different. You know what I'm saying? And the common denominator in all of this was I was obese, pretty much. For all of those, that all came simply from me being obese, to pretty much literally overweight, literally. Another one came that was asthma. Now this symptom, I'm not gonna say it came from the obesity. I've had issues with asthma as a child, and I would take treatments and have a machine, with the albuterol and stuff like that. But I eventually grew out of that. So, I didn't really need it anymore. But I was familiar with the symptoms, and I did start noticing in 2020 that the wheezing, I started having wheezing issues, shortness of breath. And, if I was laughing, it'd be like, I got to cough and I got to try to catch my breath and things of that nature. But I did notice that came back. I was told that, I did in fact have asthma. And that they think that one came as a lasting side effect of the COVID. Because I did get the 2020, version of the COVID that hit. There were so many different versions that came out, but I did catch COVID in 2020. So they think this was one of the lasting symptoms that kind of stayed with me. But this was also something that, I was dealing with, but from that, I was placed on daily asthma medication. So now I have another something that I got to take medicine for every day, basically dealing with this on a daily. And I'm not going to lie, I'm not a fan of medication at all. If I can wean myself off of a medication based on doing something, I'm definitely going to do it. I was diagnosed with basically a condition called pseudotumor cerebrae, and I was told that would be a lifelong situation that I would deal with and have to take medication. I was able to wean myself off of that and basically kind of get it under control to where, I know my body, and it wasn't something that I was dealing with on a daily anymore. I actually haven't had an episode with that in years. So I'm one of those type of people. I don't want to have to deal with, long lasting health issues, especially if they come with taking medication. So another situation that another condition that I did learn that I was dealing with was my my resting metabolic rate. I learned that was not at a good rate. And because of that, that was kind of one of the main issues that I couldn't lose weight like when I was trying. Because as I just told you guys, I'm obese. Pretty much, I am obese. And all of my conditions are pretty much from me having the obesity. Me being overweight for my body frame is pretty much what's kind of bringing all of these conditions to me. Before surgery, my BMI was at a 35. And that is, from my knowledge, the lowest number that they will take you with, in order to even qualify for the surgery. So at this point, I have all of this going on, as you guys can see. And these were all, I did not know, I'm not going to say the resting metabolic rate was a factor in me deciding on getting it. Actually, yes, it was. But yeah, these were the health issues that I was dealing with that did basically make it a thing of, okay, let's even see what this is about. So now you guys know all the health issues that I was dealing with. Now we're gonna walk through you. Now I'm gonna walk you through the journey of me even getting to the point where I know about these health issues. So basically, like I said, the high blood pressure came into the play, and the high cholesterol as well came into play. My mom had went and she started doing the process for the gastric sleeve. And as she was doing her process, she had a lot of health issues going on with herself. So for her, the sleeve was definitely a recommendation that they felt would, help ease what she was going through with her medical issues. So, she's going through the process at this point, and she's learning all this stuff about herself. So having sleep apnea was one of the, underlying concerns, basically for having the sleeve. That's kind of like one of the main, go-tos that they kind of look for, from my knowledge. So she told me, hey, they basically saying, I snore and I'm not supposed to. So she was like, do you snore when you sleep? So my girl was like, yes, this, that, and third. She was basically telling her how bad I snore. She was asking her, like, when she's snoring, is she doing this? Is she like this, that, and third? And, they were asking me, like, when do you wake up and feeling like, you can't breathe, this, that, and the third? So basically I'm telling them, we're just going over the sleep apnea, things of that nature. So she's like, yes, I think you have it. She said, you need to go and ask your primary doctor to get you a referral to a pulmonologist. And you need to see if you have that, because if you have that, that is a serious situation and you definitely need to get that, taken care of. So, I'm just like, ugh, more drama. But, you can't say no to your mom. So I definitely go and I get tested for it, and it came back that I had that. Now, the ironic part about it, the pulmonologist is also the one who discovered my asthma, the one they discovered the sleep apnea, and they also discovered the acid reflux. So going to the pulmonologist actually, like, pretty much laid it all out for me. They discovered pretty much everything. Going to the pulmonologist definitely, pretty much opened my eyes to, like, dang, you going through a lot here. So once those tests came back and my mom found out about, everything I did get diagnosed with, she was like, okay, you need to really consider this sleeve. So I'm just like, still like, I just don't see that being something I need. Basically, I needed to lose the weight in order to kind of maintain everything that I was dealing with. Except for the acid reflux. I don't think that was going to erase that. The weight loss wasn't going to get rid of that. But pretty much for the rest of the symptoms, the cure for all of them pretty much was weight loss. So, she's like, you need to be, basically eating healthy and working out, to get all this stuff under control, or you need to be going to see about the sleeve, pretty much. So, I'm like, I'm not trying to do the sleeve, because I was ignorant to what it even really was. You think sleeve, all you think about is my 600 life. And you see like the 600 people, 600-pound people, that are getting the sleeve, to lose weight for, for their issues. Of course, when you hear 600 pounds, of course, a lot comes with that. So yeah, it was something that I felt like was for them, not me. Here I am, 215, maybe 220. I don't need no sleeve. You get what I'm saying? So no, I wasn't taking that part seriously. I will say, once I learned that I had the pre-diabetes, it made sense for the frequent urination, and basically, the pre-diabetic symptoms. It pretty much put that part into perspective for me. So now at this point, my mom is steady telling me, this and third, this and the third. Not gonna lie, I did do some research about it. I did look into it a little bit, and I did learn that it heals that. It heals pretty much everything that I had going on. So I'm like, not gonna lie, it's crossing my mind at this point, but I still haven't made any moves. You get what I'm saying? I'm considering it. I haven't done much research, just quick Google search. But I'm still just like I just don't see that. I just don't see that being something for me. Now, like I said, I got the pre-diabetic symptoms, so I do go again for my frequent urine culture. But this time around, I did come back to them with basically everything that the pulmonologist had diagnosed me with. And I was telling him, hey, my mom is, I'm in there like, my mama talking about I need to be getting the sleeve, because of da 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 da, and I'm thinking he's about to laugh at my face like, tell your mama just chill out, stop thinking she a doctor or something. I'm not gonna lie, I'm thinking he's about to agree with me like, that's pretty much crazy. He was pretty much like, have you tried to lose weight? And I'm like, yes. And he was like, did it work for you? And I'm like, no. And he was like, how many, basically going through the motions of how hard did I try, where was I, and figuring it out. And, I pretty much told him, I mean, now that you say that, no, I haven't been able to lose weight. And I really wasn't able to lose the weight. I did try everything. I did try all stops. I tried to cut my diet back. I did get healthier options. I remember for a month, I ate nothing but salads. And I did these. I did the protein, and then I did nothing but salads. 2 proteins a day, salad, water around the clock. And, I would do like little snacks in between, but I was trying, I didn't get as much exercise in as I would hope. But, even with doing that, the weight just did not really come off. I'm not going to lie to you. The weight definitely did not come off. So he did say, this is something that you should look into. And at that point I was pretty much like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But when he learned, when we were talking, he was like, I mean, think about it. You're 32 years old and you're going through the same health issues as your mom, and she's 50 years old. That means you have the body of a 50-year-old at 30. That is pretty much, that's horrible that's bad. That's bad health. That's all around, that's bad. And you're looking at an early on, more early on issues as time progresses if you don't get all of these conditions underway. And then it was something to think about, because it's like, damn, your mama 50 something and, you going through what she going through at 30 something. That's a 20-year gap. You know what I'm saying? That is something to definitely consider, you know what I'm saying? And then not only that, she just had to get a pacemaker put in her, because her heart was pretty much failing her at this point. And all of these symptoms, you know what I'm saying, it kind of pretty much ties in with all of that. Not to mention what she's going through right now is the same issues that my grandmother died from. Only she wasn't able to get the help. I guess I don't know if we just didn't have the knowledge, back then for, because it was 20 years ago when she passed away, but she passed away in her 50s, and it was for the same thing that my mom is going through now. And then it's like, I'm going through what she's going through, what my grandmother died for at 50, my mom is currently going through, but she's getting it, pretty much handled. But I'm going through what she's going through at the same time at 30. So it's like ramped up speed at this point. And it's like, Veronica, you definitely got something that you got to consider here. You get what I'm saying? So heart issues just seem to run in our family. But, I was skeptical. Like I said, I just did not want to be so small. I'm like, oh, this thing is going to make me 50 pounds. I'm just like, no, but like my doctor told me, he said, basically it's not one of those things, and it's not what you think, and it's definitely something that you should consider, especially if you're unable to lose the weight, because getting this procedure will definitely X out primarily all of your health risks that you're going through right now. Definitely, consider this. And he told me that, and then he gave me the referral. He said, he won't force it on me. He can't force it on me, but he definitely highly recommends that I get it. And I'm not gonna lie, I was blown away by that. And I'm like, well, I'm so small. He was like, you still have the BMI to where it's still safe for you to have this procedure, and it not be one of those things where you just you're at risk if you have it. He said you have a greater chance of getting the procedure and coming out healthier versus getting the procedure and you thinking that you're about to be malnutrition or just skin and bones. So definitely I told him, I'm definitely going to consider my options at that appointment. And, you have a certain time before you could use the referral. So, within that time frame, I pretty much just, basically just kind of went and did a little more research. I have an aunt that my mom was telling me to basically talk to. And I started talking to her, and I'm just like, what do you think? Because she was going through this procedure as well. She highly recommended. She also assured me that my BMI was not going to be, my lower weight, number wasn't going to be something that I should worry about, and that, pretty much the body is going to lose a percentage of weight, not just you lose an exact number of weight. Like my 600-pound life and how they get down to 200 pounds or 300 pounds or something like that. It wasn't going to be one of those situations where I'm 200 pounds and I'm going to lose 200 pounds because, at that point you're dead. It's going to be like more of a percentage factor. So, like basically I am going to come off a certain percentage of the weight based on my weight. You get what I'm saying? It's not going to be based on, there's not a set number that you're going to lose. It depends on your body, and it depends on how you handle it, and, how you do and maintain it. You get what I'm saying? And she also informed me that, even if you feel you got into a weight where you don't like, you can always eat and boost your stuff back up. But to get a healthier start, she definitely recommended. So, now at this point, I'm just like, oh my goodness. So she had given me a few referrals to a few doctors that she did recommend, me check out. She had, like I said, she was going through the process herself. So she had already done a lot of the research. So I didn't even really have to do much research on that part of it. I really kind of didn't even really have to do no research. She pretty much laid the game out for me A to Z based on what she knew, and what she knew was pretty much enough for me. So, I pretty much went to the doctor she recommended. I call it. It was one in particular that she did recommend, Dr. Murr, with Advent Health, Bariatric. So I did call them first. They got me in right away. I went in. I talked to a dietitian. I talked to the doctor on my first appointment. They both basically gave me a lot of information. They basically reassured the same concerns that I had, basically feeling like I'm not that big to need this surgery. They basically told me it wasn't something that's not something that you should say, because it's not just for fat people. It's not just for, I'm going to take that back. It's not just for people, that are super overweight. It's for people who are obese within their body frames, basically within your BMI. If your BMI is high, then this is for you if you can't get your BMI down to a healthy level, So I did. I went and talked to them. They gave me a lot of information. They reassured me that the health risks are very minimum with me. They said they were going to do some more testing, consistently, basically just to make sure that the health risk, confirm it. They were pretty much assuming, but they wanted to confirm, yes, the health risks for you are going to be, lower, low for you. It's not going to be a problem for you to get the surgery, basically. So I went back to my mom with all of this information, and like I said, I was still skeptical, and she pretty much just was like, I don't see what you're skeptical about, because look at, you're not healthy. You have the body of a 50-year-old that's not healthy, because there are 50-year-olds that are healthier than you. There are 50-year-olds that are very healthy and don't have any of the health risks that you have. And you're only 30 and you have these health risks. And all of them are from your obesity. She said, so I just don't see it should be like, a no brainer for you. I don't think you have anything to worry about. She was like, with me, it was a no brainer because I have a grandchild. I want to see my grandchild grow old. I want to be able to go to her graduation. I want to be able to do things with her. I want to be able, when she's of age, I want to be able to hang out with her. I don't want to have to be big and overweight and going through all of these health issues. And, when we walking or trying to hang out, I got to keep stopping, or I can't do this, I can't do that. I want to see life pretty much. And she wants to see life with her grandchild. Forget me about it, I'm just playing. But, she's basically, that was one of her main thing, you're her mom. You should want the same things, because at a certain point, you're not going to be able to do a lot based on your health. You're going to be restricted because, your health isn't going to allow you to do the things that you want to do. You get what I'm saying? So, and I'm really active, pretty much. I'm not going to lie. I'm very active. Photography keeps me busy, but I'm an explorer. I like to go out. I like to go out of town. I'm into the hiking thing. I'm into the zip lining, mountain climbing. I'm into that type of stuff. And pretty much like she said, that was going to start restricting me from doing a lot of that stuff, because she was restricted from it. She wasn't able to get out and do a lot anymore based on her issues. So it was like one of those things at that point. It's like, okay, Veronica, at that point, I'm pretty much there. I did do some calling around to people that I did know that had it. I did get mixed reviews. I got one aunt, she got it, and she said it pretty much only knocked off about 40 to 50 pounds for her. It did not do a major change for her. It wasn't a major, it wasn't drastic for her. So in my mind, I'm like, well, if it only knocked off about 40 to 50 pounds for you, hopefully it does that for me, because I think that's pretty much where I need to be. If even that, I personally felt like I thought I needed like 50 to 60 pounds, maybe 40 to 50 pounds. But now that I have dropped some weight, I'm actually scared to even lose that much. But we'll get to all of that. But yeah, so one auntie, she did not recommend, because she said it did not help her. And she said that, pretty much if you don't have the mind state to change your life for the rest of your life, it's not going to be something that you should get, because it does come with, daily things that you're going to have to keep up with in order to maintain, a healthy living. And if you're not ready for that, mentally, and if you don't have the support, because she felt like she didn't have the support as well, then she told me, it's not something that you should even be considered getting. I had another aunt got it. She dropped a lot of pounds. She was, yes. She was, yes, and she was like years in. So highly recommended me get it. Like I said, my current aunt that was going through it, she was a major factor, her and my mom, on the final decision. She recommended. She knew a lot of people that had got it. They recommended. So pretty much at that point, it was like, it was something that, at this point, I'm pretty much more set on getting it. My aunt pretty much made me really comfortable with it. Not gonna lie. Like I said, she was already going through the process currently, and she had done she's in so many Facebook groups and support groups and bariatric groups and just bariatric. And she said for a long time, bariatric surgery was pretty much her life. She consumed it, eat, sleep, drunk, bariatric research, pretty much. Her and her friends, that's all they did, pretty much. So, I trusted her, and I trusted her judgment. I trusted her information. So I am, pretty much at this point, I'm going forth with it, at this point. The doctor that she sent me to, their process was a 3-month process, because I did learn that, it is a process. Some doctors have 6 month processes. Some have three. But the doctor that I did go to, was a 3 month process, which was kind of one of the main reasons that I did even go to them. I'm not going to lie. Because I did not want the process to prolong. I am one of those type of people. If you stringing me along, or if I'm not getting, what I need right away, I kind of, I steer left. I don't really stick to things that, if it's something I really, really want, don't get me wrong, I will. But this wasn't something I really, really want. So if you would have gave me a 6 month program versus a three, I might have got off track within those 6 months. So I'm like, I'm gonna just do the 3 month program, because she gave me recommendations from one that was six. She gave me different recommendations. So I stuck with Dr. Murr. Like I said, they got me in right away. When I did go see them, I believe I started to see them in April. And I got to them like the last week of April, and they were pretty much able to get me in, because you have to have a certain amount of nutrition visits, and you could only get one a month. And you have to have those. That's the 3 month process, kind of, sort of. So you have to have three of those, and you have to get it in once a month. Like, you can't double up. So they got me in with the nutritionist like pretty much like the last day of the month. That was kind of crazy to me. They got me in like pretty much like the last day of the month, last week or something like that. But I got in with the nutritionist, and pretty much we went from there. They did do a breathing test for me. She did the breathing test for me, to see, to test my metabolic rate, which is how I found out that pretty much that was one of the underlying issues of me not being able to lose weight. And I was surprised at that. She did tell me that because of my metabolic rate, it is harder. That it is going to be harder for me to lose the weight on my own. She was blown away, to be honest, by the results. I don't remember the results. I got it written down somewhere. I'll get back to you on that. She was blown away by where my rate was at. So it was pretty much one of those things where it's like, dang, like, this is another thing, because it's like, not only do I have all of these issues, but, you aren't able to lose the weight. And she's pretty much telling you that it's kind of like scientifically set in stone that you're not going to lose the weight, because when I was starting to try to lose the weight, one of the main things that was coming up for me was, so not to mention, I got all of the health things going on. I also deal with anxiety. So with me dealing with anxiety, they have me on medication. It's a soft medication. It's not nothing hard. I take propranolol. And pretty much what that does is just slow my heart rate down. So basically my heart isn't racing so much when I get to going into one of those modes. So me not knowing, to be honest, me not understanding what all of that really was, it was one of those situations where, because I'm taking this medication, I am unable to, basically speed my heart rate up. Like, when you're working out, you have to try to put a little pep in your step just to get your heart rate, high going and get your juices going. And that pretty much also, that kind of produces the sweat. I wasn't able to do that. And I did notice that. I'm like, dang, I'm doing all this and I'm really not breaking no sweat. So that was one of the issues. Not to mention, I also have iron issues. I'm anemic. And I wasn't staying up with my iron as much. So for whatever reasons, at first, I wasn't staying up with the iron. I didn't even know I had it until it was time for me to get surgery, and I learned it at that point. But then once I started taking the iron, I started to, basically get my energy back. But basically what happens is when you have low iron and you try to like basically go or move, you just feel exhausted instantly. Like for me, I was like, couldn't even really walk from bedroom, kitchen, and back without feeling like, dang, like, So that was another factor for me when I was trying to work out to lose the weight. I wasn't able to even really get far after a certain point, because it was like, well, dang, what is this? Why can't I even, why can't I go like I used to be able to go? I'm thinking it just came with old age. Even though coming, being older, it does slow up the chances of you being able to lose weight. But that was like another issue that I was dealing with where I wasn't able to lose the weight. Far as working out, I wasn't able to work out to help with losing the weight. So yeah, now that I'm going through all of this and I know all of this, I am a very open person. So, of course I shared it with my family. And pretty much everyone outside of my mom and my aunt was pretty much like, no. I think they had that same mindset of, pretty much like, that's for my 600-pound people. You don't need that. And a lot of them, oh, you could do that on your own. You're just not trying hard enough. You can lose the weight if you try. You're not trying. Oh, I ain't heard of you doing this. I ain't heard of you doing that. And you know what I'm saying? And it just came with a lot of negativity. I'm not gonna lie, that I didn't even really expect. But pretty much, yeah, everybody was pretty much against it. Pretty much sharing the news with them came with a lot of, lot of backlash that I was not expecting. We're pretty much, I'm going to say we're pretty honest people. So they were giving me their honest opinion. So I don't fault them because they, like I said, they had pretty much the same concerns that I had. But that comes with them not understanding and not knowing and not getting the knowledge that I did get. Now, I will say I did share that information with them and they still were just like, I think they pretty much felt like I was trying to take the easy route. But it was like one of those things like I'm putting in the work. You get what I'm saying? It's just not working for me. And my family, they come from petite. They have petite genes. On my mom's side, it's pretty much inevitable. And on my dad's side, it's pretty much, they literally kind of, the women in our family have the same shape. On both sides, literally on both sides. So it was pretty much one of those things where I couldn't really pick or choose. I'm pretty much right here. It's going to be that for me, to me. Like my sisters, their mom's side has nice petite gene pool. So, and they picked up after her, luckily. It was pretty much one of those things where it was like, nah, this is not the same situation for me. This is something that I think, I'm gonna have to do. And I won't lie, far as the diet portion of it, now I did not diet like so wholeheartedly, like knee deep. I did do, like I said, I did do this one where it was just the protein shakes, and the salad. But I'm one of those people, there was a meme, it was like, oh, black people, you're on a diet. But the diet is a salad. You got like, you piled it up with eggs. You done piled it up with sauce, bacon, chicken, shrimp, the works. You get what I'm saying? I'm one of those type of people. So that might have played a factor. I won't even front. That might have played a factor in it. But that's just me. I'm a picky eater, so that is also something that I do deal with, saying, and that is a problem that I have. I don't eat vegetables. Salad was about as close to a vegetable as you're going to get for me. Carrots go in the salad and I don't necessarily taste the carrots, but yeah, you're not going to get me eating just out no vegetables, like no broccoli and no side of nothing. No baked beans. I mean, not baked beans. No green beans. No nothing. You're not getting me to eat no vegetables. I'm not gonna lie. So that I get them on that part of it. Not gonna lie, but still, it was just like I just kind of didn't want to hear what they were saying. So I pretty much put it in my mind that I was gonna just keep it to myself, because that can get frustrating because it's like I'm doing the best that I feel I can. And even with doing that, I still chose healthier options versus just fatty fried foods and things of that nature. And even then, I still didn't even lose a pound. I still didn't drop nothing. You get what I'm saying? So, when people come at you with that, they don't come at you with support, it can get frustrating. You know what I'm saying? Because especially when you feel like you're trying. Especially when you feel like, I am trying, I do feel like I'm putting in the work, but I do have other issues that that are on my side, that kind of conflicts with what I'm trying to do. So that was another thing, because it's like, yeah, you probably can go, you guys can go and diet like I'm dieting and work out, and put in some work, but you guys aren't dealing with the other factors that I'm dealing with. So this is something that's going to be way more challenging for me, and I'm not going to lie, with my schedule, it was hard to keep the lifestyle going, because I'm kind of a workaholic, and I got a lot going on right now, and I got a lot in the play. I'm definitely going to put work over working out. That's just me. To me, I'm like, okay, I'm doing all this running around and all this and that. That's my workout. Not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie. But I did, like I said, I set aside a month to try to really consistently get something going and see what I can get in, and nothing. So yeah, so when they do say, because like the doctors, they're gonna keep asking you, do you have a support group? Do you have a support system? Do you have people, that support you in your decision? Do you have people that love you? You're gonna need that. I'm not gonna lie. You're gonna need that. Because just like I said, my family was not really on the supportive side. I didn't really get any feedback more so with that, on, basically being, you know, them being around and, guiding me and, basically patting me on my back through this process. So it's gonna be one of those things where you need like people with familiar knowledge, or people going through familiar situations or similar situations, or people that are going through it, or those support groups that my aunt are in, people like her. They that's who I pretty much told the information to, her and my mom. Those are my main two. Those are my main support system in this situation for me. Even now, they're still the ones that are like pretty much like supporting me through this journey, because you're gonna need it. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna need it, and there's gonna be moments where you might get discouraged, or you might feel, you're gonna need that extra comfort, that extra, whatever. You're gonna need it. My partner as well, luckily, she's very supportive in anything I do, especially after learning, all of my issues and what was going on and what the procedure was, and, how it can benefit me. She was pretty much all for it, you know what I'm saying? Um, she pretty much was on some stuff like, at this point, it's necessary. The weight loss is going to be a plus for you. She was like, but, your health concerns are your main reasons for doing this. You got to keep that in mind. Everybody's talking about the weight and how you're going to look. Don't worry about that. I'm going to be here regardless. We worried about your health. We worried about you being healthy. And that I'm not going to lie, that stuck with me as well. That stuck with me hard, and I appreciated her for that. Because that definitely was something to basically keep in mind. Because like I said, my mom lost her mom at 50. Now my mom is 50 and going through the same issues that my grandma was going through when she died. And now here I am, 32, going through the same issues as my mom. That's deep. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if people think about it in that way, but it's like, that's big. That's alarming. That's alarming. Um, so yeah, so that was pretty much, the gist of it for me. Um, Pretty much in why I chose to get the surgery. That was pretty much the factors for me. That was pretty much my, the thought process I went through, on basically on why I decided to go forth with bariatric surgery for weight loss purposes. I know this is probably going to come with a lot of questions or concerns, or pushback of, this, that, and the third, and I'm ready for it at this point. Mentally, I've prepared myself for it. Hopefully it doesn't, it may not. And hopefully it doesn't. I do have pretty supportive followers and viewers, and I hope you guys stay that way. But yes, that was my process on deciding to even get the surgery. So voila. So next will be a follow up on my process, on why, on basically the process it is in getting the surgery. And then from there, I will do a 1 week update, and then I will do a 2 week update because, like I said, I am 2 weeks post op at this point. So if I have on the same outfit and everything, that is why. So yeah, thank you guys for listening thus far. Hope this is, informative for you because I know you guys are gonna have a lot of questions. So thank you, and stay tuned. Watch the next video because there's more. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Need those shares. Spread the words, spread the awareness. Excuse me. You see how I was holding in that? That's going to be something I talk about, one of the side effects that come with getting this surgery, because it does have its pros and its cons. So stay tuned for all of that. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and share, because I want to spread awareness on this surgery because it is helpful. I feel great. Luckily, I'm able to tell this testimony of it in the way that it is, after I've had it, because I can let you know it is great. I do feel great. And if you stay tuned, we're going to ease our way into everything. But yes, share this because I do want more people to be aware. I do want more people to have knowledge because I was ignorant for a while about what this surgery actually is and what it does. So I do want to spread awareness because there's a lot of people who may need this that don't know, because I was one. I didn't know that I needed this. I knew about it. Don't get me wrong. My mom pushed it on me, but I just didn't know that I needed it. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't do the proper research, so definitely share this. And, if you know anybody going through health issues that I just mentioned, or you know anybody going through obesity or, anything, share this and spread the awareness for me, please. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and share, and stay tuned for more updates. The next video will be coming up soon, shortly, right after this. Click it. Probably going to be down below or here. I don't know where it is, so don't forget to watch the next video. Click there, and there we go. Give me a paper towel, give me another value, give me another hour or two. I'll war with you. Why you bother me when you know you don't want me? Why you bother me when you know you got a woman? Why you hit me when you know better? You know better, know you grew better than you do. Just call me looking for you, I'll be looking for you. Got me looking forward to weekends. Sure, baby, sure, baby, sure.